Americans changed the rules of the game with a tactical genius move. Yes, we are talking about the recent V2 attack on Iran, which took everyone by surprise. They changed the whole equation with this single attack. Now there are some serious questions to be answered, like, what was the real goal behind this attack? Is America planning something big in the near future? And why did they choose to take out al-Baghdadi with a drone instead of a missile? This video will answer all of these questions, so watch it till the end. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. Now let's get started. First, let me explain the situation in Iraq. 3 explosions were reported at al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq, according to witnesses. Videos circulating on social media showed a massive fireball illuminating the night sky over the al-Assad Air Base. While most of the details surrounding the incident remain scarce, it is known that 2 F-16 fighter jets and a B-52H Stratofortress were present at the airbase when the explosion occurred. It is believed that one of the F-16s was damaged during the attack and made an emergency landing. However, there have been no reports of casualties so far. The attack came just hours after another explosion at a similar U.S. base in Erbil. The group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, and U.S. officials have not yet responded to inquiries about the incident. But here's the thing. Americans were expecting this attack because they received intel that Iraqi Shiite militias planned to launch a rocket attack on U.S. forces in Iraq. That's why they parked their planes at a safer location in Kuwait and transported them to the Assad Air Base in Iraq via C-17 transport aircraft. But before they knew it, those rockets were fired and 2 F-16s were hit. One managed to take off and flee while the other one stayed on the ground and suffered severe damage. Don't know if there were any casualties. But considering that one of the pilots ejected successfully, it is likely that the second pilot was also able to eject. But American officials have yet to confirm this. Now let's discuss what this attack means in terms of strategy. First of all, the way the attack unfolded shows that America is not only interested in responding to Iran's aggression, but also in establishing strategic dominance in the region. They want to send a message to the entire Middle East that they can strike anywhere without warning. Secondly, the use of the F-35B in this attack demonstrates America's commitment to using cutting-edge technology to achieve its goals. This is a powerful message to Iran and other potential adversaries that America is prepared to utilize advanced military capabilities when necessary. Thirdly, the decision to strike at al-Baghdadi indicates that America is willing to take risks and go after high-value targets even in hostile environments. So the question is, how did the Iranian defense system fail so badly? Well, the reason is quite simple. Back in February, America sent a large number of F-35Bs to the region. Their goal was to perform airstrikes against Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and their allies in Iraq and Syria. So basically, Iran's defense system was already active during those times, which left their air defenses depleted. Also, the sudden nature of the attack caught Iran off guard, giving them little time to react effectively. This is because the V-2 fighter jets can travel at speeds of up to Mach 1.5, making it difficult for air defenses to track and intercept them. Additionally, fighter jets are equipped with advanced electronic warfare capabilities that can interfere with enemy radar systems, further complicating Iran's ability to detect and respond to the attack. Moreover, the use of high-precision munitions by the F-35s would have made it challenging for Iran's air defenses to stop the attack. These munitions can be used to target specific areas with greater accuracy, reducing the chances of interception. As a result, Iran's air defense system was likely overwhelmed by the combination of fast-moving fighter jets and highly accurate weapons, leading to the successful completion of the attack. Overall, the attack highlights the importance of having a robust and versatile air defense system to counter a wide range of threats. Speaking of which, what does this mean for the future? First and foremost, it will raise tensions between Iran and America to an all-time high. You see, ever since Ayatollah Khomeini seized power in Iran, the country has faced numerous internal and external challenges that have shaped its foreign policy and approach to international relations. The Islamic Revolution of 1979 led to the overthrow of the Pahlavi dynasty and the establishment of a theocratic government. This event had a profound impact on Iran's regional and global standing, increasing tensions with Western powers, particularly the United States. The Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s further strained relations with the West, as Iran receives support from its allies such as Syria and Libya, while facing opposition from countries like the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. The aftermath of the war saw Iran become increasingly isolated internationally, leading to growing tensions with the West. The dispute over Iran's nuclear program has been a major point of contention in recent years. With Western powers accusing Iran of developing nuclear weapons, Iran has denied these allegations, claiming that its nuclear program is for peaceful purposes only. However, the international community has imposed sanctions and taken military action against Iran in an effort to curb its nuclear activities. Despite these tensions, Iran has continued to support its allies such as Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthi rebels, which has caused instability in the region and raised concerns among neighboring countries. As a result, Iran has found itself increasingly isolated diplomatically, which brings us to the current situation. The recent attack on al-Baghdadi has raised tensions between Iran and America to new heights, which could lead to further diplomatic challenges and instability in the region. Secondly, this attack will revive tensions in the Middle East. For decades, the Middle East has been a volatile region, with ongoing conflicts and tensions between various countries. This instability has been exacerbated by the involvement of external powers, including the United States and its allies. The recent attack on al-Baghdadi by the United States has added to this instability, raising concerns among neighboring countries about their own security and prompting them to seek support from external allies. In particular, countries such as Israel, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates have been closely monitoring the situation and taking steps to strengthen their defenses. This has led to a revival of tensions in the region as countries align themselves with different powers and prepare for potential conflicts. The uncertainty surrounding the future actions of Iran and other regional actors has contributed to this instability, making it difficult for countries in the region to find common ground and resolve their differences diplomatically. As a result, the region remains tense and unpredictable, with the potential for further conflict and instability. Lastly, this attack raises serious questions about whether the U.S. violated international law. Under international law, the use of force by a state is generally only lawful in self-defense or in defense of others against armed attacks. However, the proportionality of the response must be taken into account. In this case, the attack on al-Baghdadi by the United States may be seen as a violation of international law. If it is deemed to be excessive or disproportionate to the threat posed by Iran, additionally, the use of drones for military purposes is a relatively new development in warfare, and there are ongoing discussions and debates about the legal and ethical implications of using such weapons. The attack on al-Baghdadi could contribute to these discussions and debates as it highlights the potential risks and challenges associated with the use of drones in armed conflicts. The legality of the attack will likely be subject to international scrutiny and debate in the coming days and weeks as different countries and organizations weigh in on the issue. Alright, now let's discuss Iran's possible response. It is important to note that Iran has not yet announced its response to the attack, but experts predict that it could retaliate through a variety of means. First and foremost, Iran could carry out missile or drone strikes against U.S. interests in the region. As we mentioned earlier, Iran has a history of launching missiles and drones against U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria in response to perceived aggression. Therefore, it is possible that Iran could retaliate in a similar manner. Secondly, Iran could increase support for its allies and proxies in the region, such as Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis. By providing these groups with more funding, weapons, or training, Iran could seek to provoke them into attacking U.S. interests. Additionally, Iran could also carry out cyber attacks against U.S. infrastructure or military systems. With growing tensions between the two countries, it is possible that Iran could attempt to disrupt U.S. operations through cyber means. Finally, Iran could take a more diplomatic approach by using international organizations or allies to condemn the U.S. attack and demand compensation for any damages caused. In conclusion, the recent attack on al-Baghdad by the United States has significant implications for the region and beyond. The use of the F-35B fighter jets to conduct the attack demonstrates America's commitment to using advanced technology to achieve its strategic goals. However, the attack has also raised tensions between Iran and the United States, and has raised questions about the legality of the attack under international law. As Iran considers its response, it is important to keep in mind the potential consequences of any action it takes. While Iran may feel compelled to retaliate against the United States, doing so could escalate tensions further and potentially lead to a larger conflict. Therefore, it is in the best interest of all parties involved to seek a peaceful resolution to the conflict, and to engage in diplomatic efforts to reduce tensions and prevent further hostilities. Now tell us in the comments, do you think this attack was a violation of international law or a justified act of self-defense? Let the debate begin. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next one.